Okay, so we're going to be talking about SAO 10th Anniversary. It's a new Weiss set, just dropped, Friday?
Yes. Just
which would be Friday. The 31st of January, if this is in the future. So we're basically going to be talking about cards we think are good. If we don't think we're good, we didn't put them in this presentation.
Yeah.
So let's move on to this. We're going to start
I think this set was actually the Friday before last, so it was like the 24th.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was the 24th.
All right, so it's for utility and level zeros.
Which, these are only level zeros. Put utility for each level in their own section.
All right, so starting off here.
Be Asuna, Time of Reunion. On play at top checks, and it'll get a marker as long as the top check card is a marker as long as it reveals the anniversary trait. Then it's basically it's an Armin that doesn't care about your hand size. It's a 3.5 and it can run to the center slot. It's really good.
Yeah, so I think this card's sick. I think it's probably better than Armin, simply just because it has some added like cool things that can happen later in the game. Because if you play this card, if you field the card and get the marker, she just sits in your back row. She adds an added 1 card of compression, which is, of course, over like the course of like 1 or 2 games wouldn't really matter that much. But if you continually keep doing that, like over the course of several games, it may contribute some to that.
Well, same with fetch lands. Thinning is winning.
Yeah, thinning's winning. And like if the card that you get from the top check is something that you just don't want to keep around anyway, like let's say it's another copy of a level 0 that has less and less value, throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, if it fails, it's kind of bad. But
yeah,
if you should probably only use this in an anniversary only deck.
Yeah,
don't
really.
Run this, don't run this in regular SAO. Next card.
All right.
Okay, Asuna, Casual Smile. She's a stock bomb, and on play, if you got experience 2 or greater, give somebody 2K. I think this is good. I don't know if you're going to need reverses. It depends on what deck you're playing, but if you need reverses, I think it's a really good card to play.
I think as a stock bomb in particular, it's pretty great that it's at 500 power, because that's just going to get a lot of things off stage right away that you don't want to go
Ryuko and Hibiki from.
Well, as we all know, Kill a Kill is a practically flawless deck. This would be its only weakness if we are, being realistic. The Experience 2 effect is a nice, unessential effect. I think it's pretty great as a secondary component, though, of the card when it enters the stage. You can pump up a level 1 or potentially a level 3. Just it's a nice secondary free effect that could be relevant later in the game.
So this thing reminds me a lot of... There's 2 cards that are really similar to it. The Monogatari level 0 bomb also does the same thing, but it's 2k experience and it's a 1k level 0 red bomb. And then there's also Yoko from Gurren Lagann that has to give the power to level 2s or highers, but it's 3k that it gives, I think. So this one's experience 2. It's a lot less restrictive because you're just going to be playing... a lot of level 2s and 3s in this type of shell anyway.
Notable, it can give it to any character.
Any character, so it's not trait restricted. Yeah, and looking at the card, it looks like it has both Anniversary and Avatar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah, okay, so that could fit into older, regular SAO builds as well as the new Anniversary build. So it seems like a very flexible card.
Yeah, it's a flexible card. If you want to play a bomb, like this is just the one that you play. I think Gathering Materia Silica is probably outclassed by this thing now. Just simply because it sends the stock, so no Anniversary shenanigans. As well as the power pump that we mentioned. We're moving on though. It's a good card.
Okay, Asuna, Photon Sword user. It's a overspec drop searcher. If you have 2 or more other characters, it's a 3k, and obviously it's a drop searcher. I like it. I like any sort of discard outlet, and it searches only anniversary trait.
Yeah, so it reminds me a lot of that edgy Saber from Heaven's Field. What is she called? Saber Alter.
Yeah, well, she's more of that Mega Man promo where if 2 or less stock, she's a 3/5.
Mm.
This actually is closer to the old SAO drop searcher. It's the what's the Leafa's name in real life? Sugaha. It's a 3k and it can't side, or your characters can't side.
Yes,
and then it's just a drop searcher.
Yeah, I think it's like your other characters cannot side attack. And that card's also really good. I believe that this card only searches anniversary traits.
Yes, it definitely only searches anniversary traits.
And it's not like you would want to play it in the other shell anyway because Sugaha's bigger.
Well, the same.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you play this in Avatar Net,
that's fair.
It's 2K. But yeah, it's a drop searcher. Drop searchers, I mean, by all evaluations, are very fair cards, but fair doesn't mean that they're bad. And yeah, if
just
you always
like Siege Rhino.
Yeah.
Cut some of this out.
Yeah, Siege Rhino might see play when Pelucranos rotates out. Is what I heard. Kirito and Asuna, Alicization Exploding. So it's a clean cut profile.
For Anniversary trait.
Clean cuts are good.
So we have
As our
Jamie
Resident
here.
ReZero player.
Resident ReZero player and also clean cut expert.
Fanatic.
Yeah, this card's pretty good. For those of you who don't know, the clean cut profile is during either player's turn, when you reverse an opponent's character in battle, you can choose one of your other characters on stage, rest it, and then you can move it to an empty back row slot. Yeah. So this card's good simply because, well, first of all, it's on both turns, and she has a little bit more power than the regular clean cut profile would have, which is 2.5k. And combine this with your pseudo runner thing. Just honestly combine it with anything. You can field brainstorms in the front row, move them back. The card's just very flexible, and
so it can enable try fielding early and then protect the utility cards that you want to hold around for a long time.
There's a reason why people would go crazy over this type of profile, like Jamie on our podcast right now.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this card, the only real downside here is that it's anniversary restricted, but Avatar Net already has a clean cut, so Sword Art seems pretty set with this, and this seems like it'll really bolster the new anniversary cards.
Yeah, I think it's already been made apparent, but maybe we should have said this at the beginning. We're going to be talking about all of these cards through two different lenses, one being through the anniversary deck itself, and then two, it's the card's application or non-existent application in the Avatar/Net deck that we believe to be the meta deck coming up. But we could have some conversation or debates about that later on. But a good card. Moving on.
Okay, Heathcliff, Knights of the Blood Guild Leader. If he's a memory, anti-encore. And pay 1, send him to memory, look it up to 4, and take an anniversary trait. I think he'll be played in any deck that wants, especially if standby is prevalent in your meta.
Yes.
Because he's just really interesting. This is a huge draw to the set, in my opinion.
Yeah, so it's one of the biggest draws to the set, and I also think that outside of, like, the level 3s, the level 3s, and this card is one of the reasons to play the set, and obviously Yuki and all the, like, suite of good
utility.
cards. That, all the suite of utility that, regular Avatar/Net Sword Art tends to have. Like, Bushiro just spoils Sword Art players. Like, every single year. Like, we just seem to get a new Sword Art set.
They might Sword Art players, but not like they spoil Bangry players.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this card's really good, and I will play the shit out of it in every deck, the Sword Art deck I run.
Mm-hmm. And some cool applications beyond just Japanese meta itself. Like, a lot of locals in the West or just in the US area play like a mixed language local. So if you ever run into those like straggling Fate decks that use the Shiro Clock Encore, that turns that off. We talked about some standby lists relying on Hand Encore as a mechanic to keep their 2 soul beaters alive. Like, I know No Game No Life is one of them if you play that Shiro.
Yep. If you play with old players who still play 12 Root Animals, that's entirely dependent on Hand Encore because they're 5k beaters that they just plus on every turn.
Yeah, and just honestly, like, cards that just have like Encore printed on itself, like a lot of decks, or I wouldn't say a lot of decks, but some decks still play the 1175 Hand Encore profile, or just a cheap Clock Encore to keep them going throughout the game. Like, this card is good, and then that's not even to talk about the second ability that mills through your deck and gives you a little bit more selectivity for one stock and a card that sends itself to memory. Card's just great. I just don't know what else to say. Like, obviously it's not going to be super applicable in every single game that you play with it, but the fact that it's applicable in some games and it doesn't take up too many deck slots.
I think it's like a 2 of in most decks.
Added effect, yeah. I think it's a 1 to 2 of.
And it's something you can obviously search for if you're going to need it.
Yeah. Anniversary and Avatar trait, I believe.
Yes.
On this card, so usable in all decks.
He is Heathcliff, so he wasn't around for Flop Plate.
Yeah. You have anything to say, Jamie?
Not really. On the whole, my assessment is that it's certainly not going to be relevant in every matchup. You know, there are plenty of times where I've played ReZero Attack on Titan and have never used Encore the entire game. I think for some decks, saying no to Encore won't matter, but being able to tell your opponent no in some circumstances can be an extremely powerful thing in those standby matchups or maybe in those straggling Fate matchups. I think that being able to have this as an option for your deck will maybe give you an edge in some of those matches where you might otherwise struggle.
Yeah. Great card.
Okay, Distant Customers. On play, you real top. If character's anniversary, this gets 1.5k in a level, and then characters across from it can't run away.
Okay.
So it shuts down your opponent's runners, and if they're playing AOT, they're 1-0 event.
Yeah. So it's like one of those level 0 assassin profiles. One thing that's cool is I think that you get to confirm the top card of your deck, and that gives you a bit more information. It's like one of the main reasons why like original Idolmaster had really good like just battle phases, because you would play your original stock soul, you would stock the top card of your deck, then you reveal top with your brainstorm, and then your brainstorm can give a soul to a character. So not only do you modulate soul on the lane that you want to give it to, but you could like side attack, or you can confirm like a one soul trigger on top of the deck.
Yep.
So you could do something similar with this profile. By
it's
looking
also
at the
an
top.
anti-level 0 bomb.
Yeah.
Because it gains the level.
Yeah, it does. So it's it gains the level. So it's anti-bomb, anti-runner. Yeah, it's good. Like, play it if you expect it in your meta. I guess the main issue here is, would you rather play this card over another good profile, such as the Clean Cut or Brainstorm?
That's the thing.
Do you have enough deck space?
I think it depends a lot on what you expect to see, but most decks probably won't see this a whole lot.
If you know your local meta, if you know that people really crutch on runners and on bombs at level 0, if that's what they go with, then I think this might be a card you could tech into your deck. Personally, I would certainly rather play the oversized runner we saw earlier over this profile, or even the drop searcher too, or the clean cut, because those all, they're just more efficient plussing profiles. This isn't a plussing profile; it's just good dispatching a.
And later on in blue, we get a Chi-Yuri profile, the Undeath Akatsuki, that is applicable in every game, where this might only be applicable in some matchups. So I think, just as a whole, we should be prioritizing those cards that are like good in every game, rather than this card that's like.
This is a meta-dependent card.
It's a meta-dependent card.
But let's move on.
You can play it if you feel like it is good to be used.
Yuki to the next world. Pay 1, rest itself, salvage brainstorm,
Holy
and
shit!
it
In
can,
Sword Art. In Sword Art.
Yeah, in Sword Art, and it can give any. At the start of your climax phase, you give one of your anniversary trait characters 500. In the Avatar net deck, probably be giving that 500 power to itself.
So it only took us like 8 or 9 sets and 7+ years of Sword Art being in Weiss Schwarz.
Oh wow! Not like you guys don't have everything else nice in the world.
But I mean, now we do. Now we have everything nice in the world, and the set is. This set's really playable. Maybe playable is an understatement.
I would especially like salvage. I don't know. In recent experience, I've just found salvage to be better than search almost all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think most decks, it's a lot easier to search your deck than salvage. With drop searchers, lots of advantage combos are searching, especially the Yuki that you're going to level 1 combo.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need search in the deck. Well, you need more salvage.
Yes.
To dig through that half of the deck.
In terms of Anniversary, I would have liked it better as a search brainstorm, simply because your combos either are non-selective in the way that they either grab from top, or they salvage.
No, you have a green level 1 combo that searches.
Okay. Yeah,
but it runs on a bag.
Most. You're not playing that garbage.
No, it's.
Is that card in this PowerPoint?
Yes. I put all level 1 advantage combos in this PowerPoint.
Okay. This card's great. It's vanilla in Avatar Net, unless you like have a cheeky anniversary tech that you want to give power to. Which
level 3.
Sure. If that card gets really big anyway. So.
Yeah.
Kirito Asuna one.
Yeah. So does the stock dump one, because on attack it gets 1k for each other anniversary trait.
Yeah, so this card, the 500 plus is even like flavor text in the anniversary deck. I don't think the only thing 500 power is going to do is either bump yourself up to a tie or go over a tie.
Just
like
slightly
that's the
clear
best
the
case.
2k backup range.
Yeah, you could either clear the backup range, or you could
push up to tie.
Force a backup, or you could force a tie. That's like the only thing 500 power can really do for you, but it's still nice added text onto an otherwise card that we've been sorely needing for a long time.
We played it if it was just a vanilla salvage rest self brainstorm.
Yeah, I would play it if it was 500 power too, and it didn't have Avatar trait.
If Shin's around, there's that memory snow deck that kills everything.
Oh yeah, well Shin's never around, so that's awesome.
I was so pissed about that. Rania, TS, and Alice, Winter Sanctuary. On play, pay 1, ditch a card, look it up to 3, take any card. It's Cosma.
Yes, it's Cosma. I think we also have another profile that also has Rania and T's in there.
It's also Floodlight trait.
So this card could be
Standby. That's my immediate. Every time I see this card, I immediately think Standby because it lets you dig selectively.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also use it to dig to a climax if you really want. Oh, you can also. There's other cards to dig for climaxes, especially with the Kirito that you can. New Kirito in this set that can dig for them.
I mean, I guess we could talk about the context of the Floodlight deck real quick.
Yeah.
You don't play this because
I don't know. It's probably the best green card they've had besides the anti-front attack.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So yeah,
if you want to go for that green splash.
Yeah, we were talking about a green splash that could possibly go into the blue-yellow existing shell for Floodlight that gives you money counter access to money counter. And that basically with your 3-2 finisher package that draws 2 ditches one, the 3-2 Kirito, it gives you a reason to like dig for something because Yu-Gi-Oh! Early play gives you your climax from waiting room regardless. So the draw 2 ditch one by comparison feels very underpowered in that deck. So if you want a reason to get those cards, it's definitely very great for that. The thing I was talking about is like when you look at top 3. I mainly always think about like, oh, you're digging for a climax because since you're allowed to take anything, the top 3 a lot of times would be like an event that you really want, which could be money counter. So yeah, while I mull it over, it seems pretty good with the green splash.
Yep.
Yeah, that card's playable. Has Floodlight trait. Doesn't have Avatar Net because it's all underworld characters.
Yeah.
What's worth.
Unit ordinal scale. Once per turn, we use a startup. Reveal top. If it's an anniversary trait, add to hand, discard. And rest this, give a character 500. I think this card is great. I want to play it a lot. I really want to. This card makes me want to build anniversary trait.
Yeah.
Especially with the 1/1 Leafa counter.
Yes. So there's a deck shell that AJ's been brewing with that I guess we could talk about once we get to the rest of the cards. But for now, all you need to know is that this
seems good.
This seems
it
good.
Turns every backup into at least a Leafa counter. And Lord Borden approves.
Yes. And I mean, it's also worth noting that like this is an obvious interaction with the card, but her own rest ability is an act ability, so basically every single turn you'd be looting the top of your deck. So that's cool. Like some profile that used to be around a couple years ago that isn't really that played anymore is just the on play top check add discard profile. And a lot of those profiles have been crept out as a lot more powerful
or
stuff.
There's a decent number of decks that have that on a card, but that's not the reason you play the card. Like it'll be on your brainstorm.
Yeah, but the fact that you can do this immediately the turn it comes out, and you can keep on doing it. So it gets through your deck pretty fast, and then you can even like dig through and then hope that you trigger during your attack phase. Because I know some decks or in some game states you want to do that where you like loot through your deck, and then if you want to get a choice trigger to like salvage your finisher or something like that, you can. It also gives you flexibility in that aspect. Good card. We can talk about its interactions with other cards once we get to them. Any other words?
Oh, I mean, it's not an Amelia, but it's free mill, Jamie. How do you feel about that?
Free mill is good mill. Yeah, just as a discard out as well. You know, if you've got climaxes that you need to pitch prior to a refresh, and that 500 is also free, it's just all around contained within itself a pretty solid card. That could also combo into other on startup auto abilities.
Yeah, there's quite a few in this set.
All right, so this card is very similar to what we previously looked at, but it's restricted to a character, and you clock the top instead of discarding a card. It also has 1K.
It's a bad Ricky. That's what it is. It's a really bad Ricky.
I don't know. Well, I look at it. It's an Eins Ricky. It's like the Eins from Overlord, except it's not a clock bomb.
The Eins Ricky is a bad Ricky.
Yeah, it is. I don't play it.
It also has Floodlight trait. So it's more green cards to add to that green splash we were talking about.
I'd probably play that over the Cosmo and Floodlight.
I think so as well, because you're looking for...
Looking for a plus,
characters,
and you can get rid of that yellow salvage Riki.
Yes, you can get rid of that. The weird like Steins Gate type
The
profile.
on death one.
The on death pay one. Look at top 3. Choose a character from among them. Put it in your clock. Salvage anything.
Well, there's sort of a trade-off here because if we're comparing this to the earlier Cosma type profile that we saw, so I certainly think that this is much better early game because it gives you some. Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, this is much better early game, I think, because you're able to clock yourself, modulate damage, maybe hit level 1 first, but also you are plussing. It's a hard plus by being able to just put a card from your deck into your hand. Whereas the other one, even though you have to pitch, you're not clocking yourself, which I think makes it much better later in the game when you're at level 2 or 3 looking for that money counter or trying to find the climax for your top end.
Yeah. For what it's worth, also at level 0 game, it can stand a chance against some profiles in power. Whereas a 1K is always just going to be losing basically any fight it finds itself in. That's a very kind of like side point on the card, but I think it is relevant. Like 1K power at level 0 is not something that should be looked over.
Death Gun, Riddle of the Avatar, on play mill 2. If you hit a climax, give an opponent's front row character -1K. It's a level 0 bomb. This is the only, in my opinion, this is the only good red level 0 in the set, and I actually like the card a lot.
I didn't read
Free
over
mill is good mill, and it's a bomb.
I didn't read over all the red stuff in the set. What's so like what profiles are in red?
There's like a oversized 4K with some restrictions on it.
No backup service.
There's
something like that.
Yeah, something like that, and then there's another kind of just assist.
Huh.
That doesn't do a whole lot.
What do you
There's
need
like
red for?
3 level 0s in red.
What do you need red for?
The Bunny Girl combo.
Okay. Well,
That's my issue. Is it's a Bunny Girl combo that requires you to only have anniversary trait characters on field to get power, and this is the best red level 0, and you probably don't play the other ones.
I saw your list. It was weird because it played like that 1-1 event.
Oh, that event is so good.
Yeah.
We can talk about that later. It's definitely in this slideshow.
I really like that event, but I was just trying to see. Yeah, it seems like you're really hard pressed to find red. And there's some level 3s as well that we'll get to later.
You force a lot of random red cards into the deck to just splash for your level 1 combo.
It's like whatever. Yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that it's red, this card's like wouldn't be played.
If its power could be a little bit less than 1500, but I guess you can also just sometimes kill things at 1500.
Mm-hmm.
Like random played utility, you run over it and then say, I have a level 0 bomb, do you want to attack it?
Yeah, well this is a red bomb. I don't think, do you really get any value for it being lower?
No, you really don't.
You don't. You only get value out of stock clock. Memory card bomb,
yeah.
I don't even think those exist at level 0. But they do. But they do as anti-change bombs now. Shout out to Alicization Sword Art.
Yeah. Okay, Kirito Time of Reunion on play 1.5K. So it goes on play. It's a 3K assassin basically, and on death it's an Akatsuki for anniversary trait. It's pretty good. I like it. It's not the best, but it will be played in an anniversary trait deck.
Shout outs to the player. Reminder, it can only grab anniversary trait characters, so don't try to get Avatar and Net trait characters from this and get
Also,
disqualified from World
trait.
Finals.
Yeah, it's also Fluctuate trait, not Avatar or Net trait. So
yeah, so you never want to play that. Don't be that Konosuba player. It gets power on its own, so it's 3K on own turn, which just by turn makes it better than any of the 2K Chieri type profiles.
And that's what we've seen a lot of, really. I think that this is one of the first early secondary effects that we've seen on a Chieri that's pretty solid. Being able to challenge something offensively to, force your opponents, I don't know, like their soft oversized, or just 2K or 2,500 power character to die, and then be around on defense to get the benefit of that on death effect.
Honestly, I'd like for it to be something like a 1K and get plus 2K on play, so that it's harder for people to bomb it.
Oh, okay, I can see that.
Because at 1500, most stock bombs and clock bombs are around 1000.
Yeah,
especially nowadays.
That's one thing.
But they're never bigger than 1500, so any stock or clock bomb's gonna slap it.
Yeah, I mean, it's also worth noting it's a pretty hard value proposition for you, but if you just desperately need the mill and you want the effect to go off immediately, you can do the overplay thing.
Yeah, I like it in standby, where you can just play over it to put more cards in your graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, good profile. In my anniversary deck, like the level 0 lineup is the Asuna Runner, the Asuna Clean Cut, this card, a couple of the Drop Search, and then Brainstorm. Like, you just max out on all the copies of the cards because they're just so good. We can continue going.
Yep, Kirito, Spriggan Swordsman. It's a global 500 for anniversary trait, and when you trigger pants, discard a card, and salvage a character.
Does the set run 8 pants?
No,
no.
Okay, since you have Bunny Girl, I'd assume
you can
not.
play a play set
Well,
of pants.
You probably aren't running. Well, I don't know. Is the level 1 combo on a pants?
Yeah, the
the
one with the Twilight Guild that mills.
Yeah, so you might actually do well, except the level 3 combo is in pants.
I think Yuna's better in almost every circumstance, even in the deck shells that don't support her.
Yeah, because as we've already seen, if we're looking at Anniversary, we've got a tap self salvage brainstorm, and we've got that tap self cycle the top card of your deck, and also give something 500. If those are both your back row, I really think that those outcompete this one. This one really would only shine in a situation where you're playing enough copies of a Pants Climax to expect to trigger it a decent amount. Being able to just trade a card from your hand to a character in your waiting room, that's pretty great. But if you're not going to get that consistently, that this is just a vanilla 500 global.
Yeah. And it's only global for Anniversary.
For what it's worth,
so
I think
you really
Yuna
can't play 8 sets of pants in this set.
Yeah, you can't unless you want to play.
Well, actually, I think the restand.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah, I think the restander in this set's also a pants, isn't it?
Why would you want to play a restander?
They're okay.
Yeah, they're all right, but I mean, we're
when
gonna get to
when you start seeing it depends. When Charlotte sees a resurgence because of the new Key 20th anniversary set,
you
have a shit ton of
obviously
anti-bird.
restander and that set's broken, but I mean, in Sword Art specifically, we're gonna get to, in my opinion, a bigger draw to the set than Heath, which is the Kirito and Asuna finisher. That card's stupid. For what it's worth, Yuna's locked to once per turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is too.
This is not.
Is it not? Okay.
Yeah. It's like it's very similar to that gold bar clock swap profile.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, if you trigger multiple pants in a turn, you probably feel pretty bad.
Yes.
But at least you get to resolve the pants, so you can salvage a climax, discard the climax, get it.
Hey, well, we could, if you trigger pants, you can immediately get leaf a counter. Try to dig it out.
Hey, yeah. That's a play.
Ordinal Scale, Kirito. 1K. If one of your character's anniversary trait. And then it's a drop salvage. Is that a...
on play, discard a climax, salvage a character.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically, if you remember the 0-2 from the trial deck for Darling and the Franks, it's the exact same card.
The exact same card. And
Which it's a slightly overspec'd drop salvage. It's 2/5 instead of 2K.
Yes.
I mean, it's fine, but again, this is one of those profiles where I'd rather just play other things. I'd rather have Cheery. I'd rather have Clean Cut. I'd rather have the oversized runner. Really, I don't think this is all that.
It's a fine card, but there's so many other good level zeros, it's hard to justify playing it.
Right.
Yes, I think so as well, especially in...
That's been kind of a common recently. It seems like a lot of sets just have a ton of great level zeros that you just have to... It's like, there's so many things I could play that I like, but what...
Does it only salvage anniversary trades?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
That's worth it.
Actually, no. Give me a second.
No worries. It's worth to consider. Multi-2 cases here. If it does salvage anything... it's
Pretty
worth noting that in a gold bar shell, sometimes you do just want to drop those extra gold bars for this card. But, I mean, there's also the looming possibility that another Yuki turn is possible, assuming that you cancel favorably and you can go through a couple more turns to then afford the stock for your endgame as well. But yeah, if it's anniversary only, screw this card. Like I would not play this card in any capacity. Maybe as a one-of. If I really wanted it.
I mean, I like free hand fixing a lot, so...
yeah, well, if we're playing the Drop Searcher, I think the Drop Searcher's probably
Yeah,
better.
it's anniversary restricted.
Yeah, this card's garbage.
I mean, it's stockless, so you can use it on your first turn, but...
Yeah.
Okay, Kirito Childhood. On play, 2 or more other anniversary trait, you draw discard. Well, you may. And then on play, pay 1, discard a climax, salvage a climax. I like this. The Capo has a similar profile. It's Fluctuate trait, which is kind of annoying, but you can force it into something.
Yes.
Especially since the Brainstorm is salvage a character, so it's unrestricted.
I think it's so funny that all the Fluctuate profiles in the set help you do things that the Fluctuate deck was already really good at doing. Like, cause you just have
fix for your climax.
Yeah,
in Fluctuate.
The only thing notable about Alicization as a set was that your early drop killed himself off to make Kirito overpowered. So great flavor, I love it. But yeah, you wouldn't play it in a Floodlight shell. Anniversary wise, I think you do play it. Sometimes you just have the wrong climax in hand for level 1, and vice versa. like you can just mix and match your level 3 and level 1 climax profiles really easily with this. And plus, draw discard, like that's something you would use to play like Little Busters, unironically, because you
or a lot of the idle decks.
Yeah, a lot of the idle decks. Like it's a good profile, good card.
It's playable.
Good card.
I like it. Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh! Alicization beginning. Start opponent's draw phase, reveal top card of your library, level 1 or higher, bounce to hand. And when it becomes reversed, you can't use Encore to the turn, which isn't a drawback because you're probably running the Heathcliff too.
which isn't a drawback because you're probably also bouncing this card back to hand too.
Well, I mean, that's the assumption that it doesn't return to hand.
Yeah.
So it's like, then they can try to wipe you. Well, you're probably turning off Encore anyways.
And the situations where this card didn't have that profile, that pay 3 effect.
I mean, it got this anti-Encore effect to gain 500 power, so I like it a lot.
Like, imagine if the card was 2K and it didn't have that effect. How many times would you fail the top check and then want to pay 3 stock to keep this thing around anyway? You know, like it's so astronomically small. Like, you never do that. So, like, yeah, like that's just like that's an excuse. To
I do like this
more
with standby because you can standby it out and then potentially just put it back to your hand on your opponent's turn.
I think it's also Fluctlight trait. You might play this in Fluck.
It is mandatory to reveal the top card of your deck and mandatory return it to your hand.
Yes. That's not an issue. You always, if you want to get a plus, you take those.
True. Sometimes it opens holes for damage.
Yes.
But that is an important thing. Even if you miss the trigger, it's a mandatory trigger. I'm not sure how Weiss rules this, but but by Magic's rules, you have to go, if possible, you have to return to that game state and resolve that effect.
Yeah, I wonder if like you forget to check and it would have been a level 1 anyway. Do you just lose the game? I wonder how like judges would rule that.
Probably depends at REL level.
Yeah. Good card. I'm just not sure if it has a place anywhere. I think you might play analysis.
Again, I think there's a standby shell which plays a lot of weird cards like this, and it's just like you just play random cards that can plus you.
Yeah, for what it's worth, standby would be Avatar Net, right?
It'd be whatever you want because the Brainstorm doesn't care, and the rest of it's standby based.
Yeah, well, I was just going to mention there's a yellow Kirito and Asuna that's 2/5 during own turn against it's 1/5 and against 1K during own turn, and it has the same profile. So I mean, if it was an Avatar Net standby shell, you'd probably want to play that over this because it has the traits.
Yeah.
I'm curious. What does Fluctlight play at level 0?
A bunch of bad cards. So you might just play this.
Okay, I mean, I think that Coin Flip is already a pretty solid profile as a plussing 0, and being able to be a 2/5 body on offense and defense means that you can run over your opponent's utility zeros, threaten those, and then on defense, if you somehow fail your Coin Flip 2/5, I mean, it's not an oversize, but 2/5 is still respectable. That's going to either force them to bomb it. I mean, it's going to tie with most mill runners. So
yeah, so the card's cool. Like in Fluctlight, you have Mill Runner, and this card pairs well with Mill Runner if you.
Because it has Kirito in name.
Yeah.
So you can give it the power from the Mill Runner.
Yeah, so it has Kirito in name. You can give it the power from the Mill Runner, and then the Mill Run can obviously use the slot that this card bounces off of.
Some of those top checkers that you use in Fluctlight, you can just get rid of.
Yeah. So maybe this card is just a play set because you have the chances for the plus.
It improves a lot of their level 0 lineup Fluctlight trait.
But I wouldn't play an Anniversary. I wouldn't play an Avatar Net, obviously. This card's a Fluctlight only card.
Kirito, commitment to the sword. On death, pay 1 top clock. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Choose and reveal up to 2 Anniversary trait characters now into hand. Are you greedy? Because this card is good for greed.
Huh. Wait, I love this card. Wait, hello?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait.
Prime example of greed.
Wait, this card's a +2.
Yes.
Occasionally. No, all the time. We can build their deck in a way where it's all the time.
No, you can't.
Well, just don't run any climaxes.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yo, no one's gonna see it coming. You'll see me at locals running Death Gun Death Wish.
Greg, I play a lot of 2-soul decks. You will just die.
Death Gun Death Wish.
Okay.
Yo, if you don't know how
this
to play
card is for
it.
greedy players. It's non-death, so it's when it's sent to waiting room, not when it's reversed. That's something you should probably remember.
Yo, you should play this card.
If you're a greedy fuck, you should play this.
You should play this card as a one-off.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. 50% of the time, it works 100% of the time. And that's important.
Okay, promo Asuna and Yuki SD. On play, ditch, grab an anniversary trait character out of clock, top clock. I like these a lot. I love free clock fixing. What's the other thing on that?
Looks like it has a second. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel...
Anniversary and net trade. So it can go to either shell. Well, no.
No, because...
Well, I mean, it could. Like, okay. SAO is all Neo Standard with each other. You could play... the next meta-defining set, Anniversary Fluctlight net trade.
Stop.
No.
Sans Avatar.
This was key 20th anniversary. And standard.
Yeah.
Let me find the card. I'll tell you what the other thing is.
I don't think any 10th anniversary.
I feel like it wasn't important, and that's why I left it off. Oh. Actually, yeah, it is important. When it attacks, look it up to 2 cards from top of your library. Choose one from among them. Put it on top of your library. Put the remaining cards in the waiting room.
Okay, yeah, that matters.
It's the same. No, standby. It's the same profile as the Legend of the Legendary Heroes card in Fantasia Bunko.
How do you say Legend of Legendary Heroes in Japanese?
Densha no something no Densha. I can't remember. I used to know that one. Basically, it sounds about the exact same as Legend of the Legendary Heroes.
Yes.
It's something, whatever, no something.
So we finally get to level 1s.
These are going to be utility cards. And then after that, we'll move on to all the others. Okay, so let's go. Asuna, Undyne Magic User. Cost 0 Stock Bomb, and on death, pay 2 Salvage an Anniversary Trait. Pretty good card. I like cost 0 bombs a lot. You get to blow up a lot of advantage combos with this and just make some people sad. Like, if they're running Milky Homes and trying to set up a wall on you, you give them double middle fingers.
I think so as well. Obviously, the pay 2 effect is not going to be used very often, so we should probably, for all intents and purposes, evaluate it as a cost 0 stock bomb, which has a place in some metas. Definitely our meta. Yeah, it's a supplementary level 1 card. And it depends if you want to play this, the Yui,
good way to splash yellow into a deck.
It's a good way to splash yellow into a deck.
It's a 3K, so it reverses almost all level 0s.
Mm-hmm. Except for, in the context of this set, you want experience, so maybe this card as a splash is less impactful than level 3s.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like it for utility more than anything else.
I don't have anything else to say about this card.
Yeah. We probably need to speak faster about all these than we are.
Yeah. Playable. Playable minus niche. Asuna, necessary presence. On your turn, all anniversary characters you control get plus 1k. And you play Climax, gives them 1k.
I thought you said that this was Sword Art. This is Attack on Titan.
Well, no, you see, because it got the Married Life effect as its second effect instead of Rest gives somebody 500.
Hey.
So they combined Sword Art and AOT to make it the most English Japanese card ever.
I don't. What deck do you play this in? Don't all your Climax combos get big enough anyway?
You can use it for the Bunny Girl combo.
Yeah, if
you can also use it for the yellow combo.
What does the yellow combo do?
It's an on-reverse top check effect.
I mean,
no, it's an on-attack top check.
It's not attack.
So no, you really don't need this.
Yeah, cool.
2K Leafa counter.
Hey,
damn good.
Remember that Unicard that we talked about earlier? So you Leafa counter, and then Leafa becomes less of a meme because you actually dig through 2 cards from the top of your deck.
Yeah, it's also at level 1, and I see this with the Bunny Girl, where it's okay. You make like 5 or 6 stock in a turn, and you spend 1 of it.
Yeah.
And you dig. You can it's free mill. Oh, almost free mill.
And what's funny is that you barely see Sugaha, who's Leafa in the game, on the side of the card. So, like, her spirit's still on the card.
All we can say is we're board and approved. Let's move on.
Board and blog.
Kirito and Asuna, Alicization lasting.
This card's sick.
On play, pay 1, ditch an anniversary trait character. Have to discard a character, anniversary trait character. Bounce an opponent's character and give somebody plus 1k.
Is there any restriction on what kind of opponent's character can target? Can it be anywhere on
stage? Any level.
The card's sick.
It can't target things with hexproof.
All right. Okay.
The card's sick.
I mean, I think that's pretty cool. Discarding a card for the cost is kind of, but I think that
it's at level 1.
You have
level
access
1
to at any level past
right.
1, obviously. The thing is that the card is the same cost as far as Bushiroad standard goes as the 3-2 bounce, because pay one stock and a card in hand is the same as 2 stock. So it's the same.
It's not.
It's the same effect. Well, it's not like in reality, but the way Bushiroad costs it, that's how they value it out. It's how we get pay 1 discard effects instead of.
Yep. The power pump's nice, but not particularly relevant. I feel there's a lot of power ramp in this set, though.
It tears a new one into standby, and for any like of those supports, pesky supports that go into back row, it's just its utility is unrivaled. Like
now, if only Armin wasn't hexproof. Right, well, let's move on.
Armin is hexproof.
One other last note on this card too. I think particularly against Bunny Girl, this could be very nice. I don't know what other bounce effects Sword Art might have access to, but being able to return their bodyguard to their hand could really open.
Albuda.
Yeah, Albuda, Bunny Girl. Could really open what you can do at level 3.
I get confused between that and Bunny Girl as in the level 1 combo.
This card does nothing against that card.
Okay.
Bounce their Union back row so they can
cost
to get their Reinhardt again.
Okay, Asuna IRL Captive. Experience +2, +1.5k in hand encore. And on play, if you control 4 more other anniversary trait characters, you can stock an anniversary trait from Waiting Room. So it's a free cost 1, so it's really good against cost 1 bombs. It has a different Asuna name than most other Asuna cards, so the old Riki doesn't grab it.
Yes, but if this card comes out in English, it is suddenly then playable with everything.
Yeah, okay, well, we're going to get into English bushy. Eternal Weavers, level 1 anti-change clock bomb. I like it.
Screw you, standby. I'm playing this at 2 or 3 copies.
Yes.
Yep. I don't know. It fits in well. I really like that it's at level 1. And it's good for fixing green. It's also either net or avatar trait. It has 3 traits. It has both Fluctlight and either... I think that's avatar.
Yeah, so Yu-Gi-Oh! And Alice are Fluctlight, and then we have Silica and Yui and the dude that died. In the second episode.
Spoilers?
Put him on there.
I don't know. Wait, he was like the. I don't think he was the one that died.
No, he died. He was the. Oh no, he
was the one that accused Kirito of being a beater.
Oh yeah. He accused Kirito of being good. Yes, because that's a crime. Being good at playing video games.
Yeah, anniversary
in a video game.
Yeah, so I think it is all 3 traits.
Which pretty damn good.
Yeah, play it. Play it. Green Splash. It's Green Splash for Fluck.
I mean, especially if you and also Green Splash for regular SAO, especially if you're playing the old Yuki combo.
With all these
I like
cards that we call Green Splash for Fluctlight deck might just make green like a main color in the deck. Like it might just not be a splash anymore.
Yeah, it just becomes the green-blue Fluctlight deck.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can make it 3-color.
No, I don't. What do you even want from yellow at that point?
3-2 Alice.
No.
It's such a good card, though.
The bounce one.
You still play a level 1 combo.
Elizabeth and Silica. Is that a sign of sleepiness? Once per turn, we use a startup. This gains 500 times X, where X is the number of anniversary trait characters, other anniversary trait characters. And you can rest another character. This gains 1k, which is a startup ability. You can rest something and possibly just jump it to a 7/5 in one go.
If you need big, cool. If you don't need big, there's other things to play. But if you need big,
it's a beater. It's a level 1 wall. I don't really think you play it because I like the bomb better, and this can't give power to anything else.
Sick.
Now this card, Asuna and Elizabeth and Silica adventuring all together. It's a level 1 bomb, and once per turn, use a startup, give an anniversary trait character 1.5k. I like it a lot. I think it goes really well with the Bunny Girl combo. And just in general, throwing power around is fun. Level 1 bombs are good.
Yeah.
Raid of Salamander.
Here we go.
This card is great.
Here we go.
It's a 1/1 event. Give an anniversary trait character plus 2k in Honor Salvage. Then you get to put this card in stock. So it's basically a costless give something plus 2k in salvage.
Yes. It's a very different card, but no, Samatsu, you have something called Handshake Ticket, and it gave something 2k, and you put something from Waiting Room to stock, and then you send that 2/0 event to stock. So for 1 card in hand, you get 2 stock, 2k somewhere. And I see a lot of parallels with this card, because this is a 1 card in hand, you recoup that advantage back.
It's kind of like Toilet.
Yeah.
Except doesn't cost a stock.
Yeah, it's a lot like Toilet. Yeah, but
what's
Toilet
the
also
event
gives
from
you...
Love Live? Or is that faster.
This card's worse than Toilet, unless you value the power.
I
'Cause
do
Toilet
value
gives
the
you a
power,
stock.
and gives you selective advantage over a top check.
Okay. I think this card's good. I think it allows you to put in red to your deck.
Yeah, this is what you have to do to play red anniversary trait.
Yeah, fortunately. Do you have anything else to say? Good.
Bad or otherwise. Kirito and Sinan, Phantom Bullet. On attack, you control another anniversary trait character, gets plus 3k, and discard a climax. This character gains plus 1k and on reverse draw a card. That's a startup. You can do that as many times as you want in a turn.
Yeah, this is like a 2009 profile.
I don't know. I mean, the level 0 bomb from Fantasia, the Slayers one, has that same thing. There's a card in Puyo that does it at level 0. And then Charlotte runs that as a 105k.
I just remember it being in like Little Buster's Ecstasy as a 1/0 Saya. 1/0 Saya hand on court. It also had that ability. But it was super funny because like the card is like 4 or 5 base, and you need to reverse stuff with it.
I mean, this is 7, 8. Oh, this will be 8k if you discard a climax at least. And you can discard multiple climaxes.
I mean, if you're already playing blue, I think it's fine because it's certainly. I think that bombs are more versatile in killing more things, but this certainly, like an assassin profile like this, is certainly better on damage economy because it's going to be presumably around for the backswing to take away 1 soul from an otherwise direct attack when you would crash with a bomb. So I think for that reason, this could be a pretty solid way to challenge like sort of soft walling decks. The startup ability, it seems fine. I don't think you're going to use it a ton, but to have that as an option is pretty great. If you have a horrible early game, you need to drop climaxes. You get to drop climaxes without it being a minus because then you get to draw those cards back and you also get to ramp power at the same time.
And that's pseudo free mill because you're drawing cards out of your deck that are if you have enough climaxes to get more to do this more than once, there's probably not many climaxes left in your deck.
So I think it seems fine if you're already playing blue. Otherwise, I don't think I'd play it. But if you've got the blue thing going on, I think this seems like a fine utility profile to have.
Yep. And you can even run it in Avatar deck because it only needs one other anniversary trait character, which should be your Brainstorm. Okay, protecting your back. It's an event. It gives 3 abilities. The character can't run to any other slots on stage. The opponent can't back up or event. And when this is fronted, you can return to hand. The effects last through your opponent's turn.
Okay, so one interaction where this might potentially be interesting is that a profile that has been coming out more and more lately are 1/1, like 5/5s or whatever that can't be reversed by costless characters. So if you play this on like a 1/0 that, assuming that it is correct that the opponent's character can't move in any phase of the turn, then you could play something that'll be bigger and get over it.
Straight up can't move to another slot.
So you'd get over that 1/1, not reverse it, but then when you pass and go to your opponent's turn, your character survived, it gets to bounce their hand, and they can't move their 1/1 to another open slot. So you're really controlling their board layout. They've only got two spaces where they could theoretically move cards around in their front row. In which case, that's horrible. Yeah, so that's a really niche scenario, but I think that could lead to some fun and interesting interactions to make your opponent have a really hard time. I also
see this for anything that requires reversing.
Yeah.
I see this more at like a level 3 if you're running against somebody if you're running against a deck that has like a rest counter or anti-damage, you can use this to protect an attack or two as an attack.
I think it's the card,
especially any on reverse combo that deals damage.
All around, this seems like just a much better take on the classic trap profile because it comes out earlier. It still gives something a bounce, and it does all that stuff to your opponent. So I think that's really where we're at here.
Hey man, I thought classic trap was an instant 4-up in every kill deck.
I mean, it's still a minus to hand.
Is it not?
I don't know if you'd actually run this. That's the one thing. You might stick it in the Fluct Light.
Play it.
You can stick it in the blue-green Fluct Light deck.
But why?
Because you require a reverse.
You could also play it to then. Yeah, you can give your early play.
Draw better.
Yeah, you can also give your early play the ability to return self to hand, so he doesn't die when you need to get the climax. So you can play him, give this card the return to hand profile, return him back to hand, play him out, heal again, sack and get the climax.
I mean, that's a cool
interaction.
You get enable multiple heals off of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of stock. You only need 5 stock for double Kirito.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, yeah, maybe Fluct Light Floodlight support.
I feel like everything that's you don't know what to do with it.
Oh, hey, speaking of the devil, we were just talking about this.
Can't be reversed by cost zeros. Experience 2 plus 2K, so it becomes a 6-5-1-1.
Yeah, so it's
pretty damn overspec.
It's just better.
Doesn't get reversed by level zeros most of the time anyway.
Stand by.
Yes.
Just this card's good.
I mean, if you're playing yellow, I think it's fine. Or just in general, anti-cost zero measures. Let me put it this way: a lot of people don't play 1/1s unless they're playing standby or they're playing a profile like this.
This card does lose to standby, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it definitely loses to standby, no question. But I mean, what that kind of comes with is
6-5, which is respectable.
Yeah, it's also only 4-5 if you bring out level 0 with standby.
Well, yeah, but until your opponent hits level 1, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, sure.
And then, I mean, if you're standbying in a level 1 when you're at level 1, that means that your graveyard is trash. Because you should be bringing in 2 at level 1.
She's Anniversary Floodlight.
Yeah,
so she's Anniversary Standby.
You're playing standby.
Sure.
So you don't really care about traits to a degree. Because
card's
your brainstorm
alright.
grabs everything.
It's a level 1. You play it. We went over this card before.
Yeah.
Advantage
I
combos.
basically copied that slide for the entire thing. And that's how I got every card to look that way.
Oh, gotcha. Advantage combos. We have a lot of them in this set. We have 4.
We have 1 for each color. Kirito and Alice. Alicization divided. Interesting note, this is the only one that really has different art for the 2 climaxes. Every other one's just like slightly zoomed out, or in case of the level 3, it's an SP.
One of them's triple rare.
Yeah. It's experience 2, get plus 2K, and on attack with the climax, you top check. If it is an anniversary trait character, you may reveal this, and this character gains. You can pay 1. This card has Twin Drive.
Gotta pay 1 for Twin. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's a top checker that can get Twin Drive.
Yeah. I think this card is cool. It's on a choice trigger, so.
You mean fork?
It's.
Is that what we're calling it?
That's what I'm calling it. That's what my friends are calling it.
So it's pants.
I think so. I really like how it's a level 1 combo that just gets to sit and breathe at 6K, and then 1K on or 7K on offense before assists and whatever. I think that's pretty cool, especially in a deck where you might be playing that Leafa counter at level 1, which is just going to take it up to 8K, maybe 8.5 if you got that. I already forgot Yui.
She doesn't give power.
She's on startup power.
That's right. Yeah, it's the rest top check. You're right. Yeah, it's the rest gets my bad on that. Anywho though, still being a 6K functionally base, being able to go up to 8 with just 1 2K counter, I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah, card has Floodlight trait, and I like you can play it.
But, yeah, can't play it in the I mean, it's basically the level 1 combo from Floodlight, isn't it? Except it gives top check. Except it gives Twin Drive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess we call that similar profiles, but yeah,
I don't like it very much. It's fine, but I can't say I'd play this over any. I'd play this over the green advantage combo, and that's the only one I'd play it over.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of sets have been combining. Like it's like a mix and match. Like pick 2 out of 3 because Saikano got double trigger, return to hand. This card got add top, double trigger, and then Astolfo combo and the Alicization one is add top, return to hand. So it's like it's like pick 2 out of 3 in your level 1 combo.
Fair enough.
You can play 8 choice, like that's something cool. Like the only valid reason I see you playing this card is if you just want to see the power of the choice trigger just in your deck because you're going to be seeing it so often. You get to see the application of actually triggering that climax, but. That's like for competitive value. I don't think that's actually valid.
We good?
Yes.
Okay, Lovely Housemates. On play, 1.5K, so it's a 6K, and Climax on reverse, salvage an anniversary trait, and give another character plus 1K. It's on a bag. It's bad. Characters must be anniversary trait. If so, this is a 6K. And Climax on reverse of opponent. Stock a level 0 from waiting room, then top check if the card is level 1 or higher, add to hand. This card's really good. I really like it. It's another card that makes me want to play this set.
Yeah, so this card's good, but aside from that, I can't unsee it because I was told about this and I need to ruin it all for you guys too. Kujo has a fidget spinner on his outfit. Do you see that?
I mean, he always has, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's always had a fidget spinner, but I don't know why. I can't unsee it.
I don't understand why the climax for it has Elizabeth and Silica, but it's Silica and Kirito.
So this is the cover to the second light novel, which is the one that included the Lisbeth, Silica, and Sachi side story.
Okay.
So that's what makes sense. I don't know what more Deba means. Deban. I don't know what that means.
More screen time.
But we need more screen time.
Pretty sure that the translation is more screen time.
So is the joke that Elizabeth and Silica need more screen time?
Yeah, well, they're trapped in the Scorned Women's Club, so. Anyways, Bunny Girls are always good. One that doesn't top stock, but stocks from waiting room is better, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I like this card. I just wish there was more good red cards to support the color.
Mm-hmm. The card's good. It works well. We were talking about the Yuna with Leaf Encounter, and this makes a pretty cool working machine.
Yeah.
And it gives you the stock to perform the Leaf Encounter. And you have really good selectivity because, like, you get stock, but then you have a way to immediately spend that stock. That was Brainstorm.
That's filtration.
Yeah, it's just good. It's just good filter.
And especially if you're playing that red 1/1 event, you can just ramp up to 8K easily, or 9K I guess with that gate on offense. So that's
and if you're using the level 1 bomb, you rest your Yuna to give something 500, and the bomb gives something another 1500.
So there's a lot of ways to ramp power in red and just play a very offensive game at level 1.
The card's cool. However, this is my favorite level 1 combo of the set.
Yeah, Twilight of Innocence.
5/5 rather than a 6K, bad.
Yeah. Okay. With experience 2, climax on attack, mill 3, salvage level X or lower character where X is number of anniversary trait characters put into waiting room, and it becomes a 6K.
During your turn.
Okay, you got me.
So with the climax, it becomes a... Yeah. So same power spec as all the other ones.
So this card's cool. It mills through your first deck, which is something that you always want to be doing. The only issue is that if you are used to the traditional Maguro profile, this card is going to feel really bad in comparison because you have less control over your deck if you're soon close to refresh. So a lot of times you're going to be, in order to get your plus off this card, you're going to have to shuffle back with the climax still in play during your attack phase because it's a mandatory mill 3, not a mill. Yeah, it's not. Look at up to top 4 cards of your deck. So this card's going to be a lot worse because of that. It's still my favorite level 1 combo in the set because Pants Trigger sets up for your early or for your late game very well. It goes with the Kirito and Asuna finisher, which
Choice.
we've been the choice trigger. So the Pants gets the choice, and then the choice nukes them. And we've been hyping that finisher up the whole entire set review, and we'll get to that near the end. This card's really good level 1 combo, or the best one that Anniversary trait itself has.
I would say the Bunny Girl is better, but I'm biased. I love generating extra stock. I prefer Krush to Amelia, so let's move on.
Level 2 utility. This one should be shorter than the rest.
There's
of
like
them,
3 cards. Asuna Orbital Scale assists
Machine
2K
Device Asuna.
Yeah. 2K to level 3s in front, and if you have experience 3, you can rest it and say, give a character the ability. During this card's battles, the opponent may not use events.
It's Machine Advice for Anniversary trait.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Playable.
The question is this card better than Machine Advice in regular Sword Art?
No.
Because it's more power, right? And you still rest it to give a character... Yeah, I think it is just
Doesn't
better.
Machine Device also shut off backups, though?
Oh, yeah. But it's more power, so maybe you just step up over backup range anyway.
Yeah.
And this card has a bit more base power, so if you need to field her for whatever
and
reason...
it's also
it's a 6/5.
yellow, so if you think that the deck's going to be more yellow-green and less blue.
Mm-hmm.
But you might want to run Machine Device just to help with the splash.
Yes. Yeah, okay. You can use your own discretion for that to figure out which one is better for your build, but just for some food for thought there.
Kirino Asuna, Falling Area Instant. On play, pay 1 ditch an Anniversary trait character, free fresh, and give a character plus 1k. On that, anti-change stock bomb. So, it's a 2/2 free fresh. That also is a stock bomb.
Huh, okay. So this is one of the stock bomb profiles that actually has a...
Decent
added
effect.
added utility past that, because most of the time it's just like a climax combo that you wouldn't play outside your colors anyway.
Gain Encore on level up. No, but as an anti-change stock bomb, I think that's a great secondary effect to have. I don't know how often you're going to use the free fresh because it's probably a bit more expensive than average, but at the same time, it's not restricted to like 5 or fewer cards in waiting or in library, right?
No.
So I think that certainly gives you the option to control your deck a little bit more. So for that reason, it strikes me as a very, very solid anti-change option in particular.
But you have to discard Anniversary trait character.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue, but I mean, still, if you really want that control of your deck, you have it.
Yeah, I see it more in the Anniversary deck than Just
that for sure. Yeah, that for sure.
Asuna Lifa is that a sign of sleepiness. Once per turn, when you use a startup, this character gains plus 1k times X, where X is the number of other anniversary trait characters. And when this reverses a level 2 or higher character, pay 1 salvage character, anniversary trait character. Actually, no, it's just salvage character. Yeah, this one is just salvage a character. So it gets real big, and then it starts salvaging things for 1 stock.
Huh. Okay.
And it's also super defensible, because they try and run into it, you back it up, and it gains a shitload of power.
Huh. Okay.
I think, for that reason that it's huge on defense, it's pretty good if you do have that backup. Or on offense, giving it that power pump can potentially make it big enough to contest your opponent's early play, making this a more suitable choice to deal with anti-change rather than a bomb, since this would be better on damage and kind of bring down that soul.
I was going to say that this card is broken in standby, but then I realized that the second effect is you have to reverse level 2 or higher. Could you imagine how stupid would this card be if it's just reverse anything?
Well, the reverse level 2 or higher profile is pretty common. A lot of decks have something like that, or like the old Cow-Tits from Railgun that is the reverse level 1 or higher top stock.
Yeah.
Which also was a rider in Fate Zero. It was like a 105k. But moving on. Okay, True Colors of the 2. It's an event. Costless level 2 event. Search for an anniversary trait character. You have to control an anniversary trait character to play it. Decent. It's just a copy of whatever card you want in your deck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know you actually play it, but it's worth mentioning. Especially if you're trying to run a bunch of one-ofs and are being a greedy fuck. Or being a greedy person. Then, yeah, it's probably decent.
Yeah, it just turns into anything.
Death Gun, True Killer. On play, discard a card, salvage an anniversary trait character. You can discard whatever you want. And it's a level 2 bomb for anti-standby effect. Especially with the anti-encore, it actually does kill your opponent's standby deck.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Bunny Girl has a similar profile, has the exact same card as this. It's a 2/1 Mai that they use.
The question just becomes, like, if you want to do... Because I think the anti-change clock bomb's probably a bit better just because you have the speed of getting that threat off the board faster, like, at an earlier point in the game. Yeah. But then the card's effect gets shuts off as soon as they hit level 2 as well. Yeah.
Which this just kills level 2 or lower.
Do you play this in your shell?
I think I do. One, because I need red cards, but I also like this, especially the salvage effect, because it's discard whatever you want, take an anniversary trait character.
I mean, it's also worth noting 2 or lower, so you can get rid of level 1s if you also want to do
super
that.
Desperate. It kills 1/1s that can't be reversed by cost 0s.
There you go.
Hey!
Aiming for Excalibur. Search 2 anniversary trait characters, discard a card.
It's the Gurren Lagann flag.
Well, again, it's kind of the same as that old green event. It's playable. Mm-hmm. It's good for greed.
Here we go!
Start with what we think is the best thing in the set. Is Kirito and Asuna Aincrad. Experience 6 gets 1.5k. On play it has heal. And Climax with Experience 6. On attack, pay 2, discard a card. And then you Ronco. You mill 5, and for each Climax, you burn 2, and this gains 2.5k for the turn.
Shout out to when Asuna wanted Kirito's Black Sword.
This card's not greedy enough.
Yeah.
This card is sick. Like,
it's like I mean, if you're familiar with Ronco, which is on attack, mill 5, burn for a number of climaxes. This is better. It's like for each climax you burn 2 instead of just burning a fixed amount. I mean, you're paying stock for it, but
it's also a matter of like, because obviously Ronco sucks, right? So like, I don't think anyone's gonna.
You play it. Oh, you used to play it with 3-0 just because you had no finishers, so you played the on attack pay one.
But like as a main finisher game plan, the Roncos that are attached to climax combos are really bad, and you should never play them. So, but like, so now it's a question of by how much of a margin is this card better than Ronco? And I think it's a lot.
On attack, I'd pay 2 to burn 2.
Yes.
And if it hits 1, then I'm happy. And you should know the state of compression in your deck. If you don't think you're going to hit climaxes with this, don't do it. You switch
to your... Because, like, what's really good about the Avatar net deck, and one of the main reasons why I think it's the better list, like, aside from Yuki... Yeah, because you have Musashi's, Clock Kicks, and
Stock Dump.
Stock Dump, as well as the Ordinal Scale Asuna Mill 11. So if at any point you think that you are not compressed enough to make this card good, because this card's real bad if you burn nothing. The card's real bad.
Yeah, you just minus like 3.
But yeah, what you
like
can't do is that you could then turn your game plan to double Musashi Mill 11 combo or Musashi Clock Kick Mill 11, like just some combination of those, and that's just a fine enough secondary level 3 game plan that you can adjust to on the fly.
Especially with the experience, you're gonna be running a shit ton of. You're gonna be running a lot of level 3s. So I mean, you should probably have 12, 14 level 3s in your deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I play around that ballpark. I just think this card's really good. It's one of the main reasons to play this set. And obviously, I do it to burn 2, and if you could ever burn 2 more than once, the card just has very stupid thresholds of damage potential, and I think that card that just makes the overall SAO shell just a lot better than what it used to be, because now this finisher just reaches like explosive points that can really capitalize on either weak compression on your opponent's end or a good climax spread in your own deck. And then combine that with basically every other good card, like in Sword Art, I think that we do make like a top 5, top 10 deck in Japanese right now.
Yep. Okay, well, let's get to the next one. Kirito and Lifa, Fairy Dance, on play, draw 2, ditch 1. Once per turn, when you use a startup, this gains 1,000 times the number of opponent's back row characters. So probably 2k. And Climax, when this reverses its opponent, pay 2 ditch, burn 1 Clock Kick, and give another character plus 1k for the turn.
Cool, but still not greedy enough.
Hey, so you remember the Little Busters combo?
Yeah.
Greg? Yeah, this is a better version of it because it's on reverse.
You still don't play it because this card is.
I don't know. I might play it just because it's there. I feel like with the Bunny Girl build, you're probably in green you're in green as well anyways. But of course, the leaf counter's in yellow, so you can.
So why is this better than Little Buster? Oh, does it get more power?
Not really. But the deck itself can distribute power better, and you don't pay till after you reverse.
Oh yeah, that's the main thing. Because Little Busters.
That also means that you can pay stock from its attack.
Yeah, Little Busters versus Da Capo continue on its archaic design philosophy of printing effects before it reverses on its card.
Yeah. Okay, but we can move on. Okay, Yuki, Innocence. On play, heals. Climax. On attack, pay 1, ditch 2, mill 11. Oh. If you hit 4 Anniversary trait, burn 1. If you hit 8, heal 2. And if you hit 11, burn 2, burn 2, burn 4.
Well, that's greedy enough.
Oh man, I love this card so much.
It's like you knew that this card was coming in the slide.
I love this card. I mean, it's greedy, but you're gonna hit 4 if you build your deck right. And you probably have a decent percentage of time you're going to hit 8. And when you do hit 11, you will feel like an utter god. You will stand above these mere mortals and tell them to bow down.
Wait, so here's what we do.
And bask in your unbelievable greatness.
We need to just start playing cards at stock climaxes.
Yeah, so now you just play like a random stock souls, and you can just put all your non-bars into stock, and then you trigger all your bars.
I think the big thing is if you're going to play this card, first off, you don't play it with the intention of hitting 11. I don't think that's realistically going to happen.
No, you can.
But
there's probably some stupid standard deck that does. Wait,
Anniversary locked. Anyway, but if you do actually play this as your top end, you can maybe try to go for 8. You really want to be careful on the amount of events you're playing. If you do that, I think that's the main thing to look out for.
I mean, hey, think about it this way. It's like the 3 heal event from Fate, but for only 2 stock. Oh no, it is 3 stock.
Yes.
But it burns 1.
So, this is the best Yuki finisher we've gotten.
She has the Clock Kick that's just a top check Clock Kick.
Well, I was about to say that card's bad.
Well, only because we have Lifa. I think it's an okay Clock Kick. It's not like it costs any stock to use.
It's also better than the 0/0 pay 1 mill 11 burn X equal to soldier.
One other actual
that was a weird one.
One other actual non-meme note about this card though. So it heals on play, which is cool, and because it's on a bar, that sort of mitigates the need for a check 3 cantrip that a lot of finishers have. Because by virtue of it being on a bar, if you trigger it, it's going in your hand. Also, the Anniversary set does have that Climax swapper level 0, so you're really likely to get the climax for this, though. I mean, a lot of decks can probably get their climax by level 3 anyway. But I think being on a bar, it just really helps shore up that consistency to as good as it can be.
Yeah, my one regret is that the level 1 combo was on a bag instead of a bar, but both the level 3 combos are on bars. I'm like, couldn't you just put all of them on bars? Nobody actually wants to play a bag. Oh, let's move on though.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want to take one more look because like we were guaranteed to burn because like let's evaluate as a. Like, let's say you tri-field it. Well, you can probably dual field it.
Yeah. I mean, the stock is not super...
And so you burn one twice, you probably
so you need 7 stock to be able to... And 6 extra cards in hand.
There's so much variance involved in this that's hard to evaluate it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like coin flip. You're going to hit 4. There's probably... Depending on... You should know the state of your deck to know the likelihood of hitting 8. And you're not going to hit 11, let's be honest.
And you don't play any events in this show. That's for sure.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's the one thing. You're locked out of that. Xenon, Quiet Fighting Spirit. On play, look it up to 3, take 1. Experience 6 or greater with the climax. This gains 3k, and at the end of this card's attack, pay 2, ditch 2, restand.
I don't like restanders, and I don't like that cost. And I don't like Xenon. So I'm not.
I mean, it's a 14k. There is that.
Yes.
You know what else is a 14k? Last Shot.
Yeah.
That one heals. I'm just saying.
Last Shot also burns a shit ton.
Hey, this digs 3.
Okay.
So you might. I don't know. It's kind of weird where you just see decks splashing these kinds of effects just for the dig 3.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, in Sorta, you have check top X call kick.
Yeah.
So you don't.
Anniversary trait, you might run this.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a dig. I don't remember if you have a dig X. If they do, it'll be.
You do. It's also an early play.
Okay. Other level 3.
Also an early play.
Oh yeah. True S Climax and Waiting. It's 11k with experience 6 and on play dig X, where X is the number of anniversary trait characters.
I mean, it's just a pretty good early play all around.
So you never want to play this.
Yeah, don't play that.
Basically, but I mean, the 2 or less climax condition, fine. Played after
you
refresh.
You played in your Xenon waifu deck. I might know you still play Last Shot.
My God. The experience condition, I mean, that seems great. It's probably going to be a passive 11k if you've been trying to meet that. And then the Dig X, I mean, that's just a great cantrip.
Yep.
So, good card.
Kirito and Alice, Alicization Evading. On play, search an anniversary trait character. On attack, pay 3, mill the bottom 4 of opponent's deck, burn for the number of climaxes you hit.
I play one of this.
I like this card. I play it in the Bunny Girl shell just to use extra stock.
It's a floodlight trade.
Yeah. It searches anniversary trait, so you can go search like a brainstorm or something.
Yeah, you can. Not even because.
No, oh yeah, because you actually use the Floodlight brainstorm.
Okay, maybe there's some post on Global. It was like
no, you search the look it up to 3, take a card.
There's some post on Global. There's a 3-1 event in Alicization that says like, oh, you search for a Kirito and Alice. So the guy said, "Oh, this combo is broken. You search for one of this again, and then you play it. Search for another one. You play it. Search for another one, and you play it."
Yes, you can just find all. You can just like rip all of them out of your deck.
Dude, the card's broken, and then you play it with your stock charge level 1 green combo, and then you're able to basically mill your opponent out, burn them, and force them to refresh themselves.
Yeah,
and you compress.
I played something similar in old Psychono, except it was with the climax on attack and didn't have to pay 3 stock. But it was meh. It's like a Ronco, but it's like a Ronco, but you have less control over the state of your deck.
Yeah, shoutouts to Vegetable Kirito. That happened.
Well, you're the only one who would know that. Let's move on.
Vegetable Kirito is best Kirito.
Kirito and Asuna and Yuki, Mother's Rosario. On play, ditch, heal to stock. Pay 1, give a character plus 1.5k. And once per turn, when you use a startup, this character gains 500 times X, where X is the number of anniversary trait characters, including itself. So it jumps to a 12k.
Yeah.
And man, I wish this comboed with Mother's Rosario in some way. I wish it had like a mill 11, do some random BS as well. Just have like a wall of text. If you're going to name something Mother's Rosario, it should combo with Mother's Rosario.
11 hit infinite sword skill. Mother's Rosario.
Yeah, I'd take it.
I think bottom line, I think you're probably running this for the heal to stock. I mean, giving power is cool
heal
too.
To stocks,
but
though.
In Anniversary,
yeah. There's an early play heal to stock in Anniversary.
Where are they in the PowerPoint?
It's soon coming up.
Well, they're sorted by color, so
All right,
Not in
I'll
green.
take your word for it.
And then I don't know, I don't think you ever want to play this because your finisher also heals, the Kirito and Asuna finisher, and then the card after that.
yeah, this one's an on-play heal, early play 2 or less Climax's waiting room, and once per turn when you use a startup, this character gains plus 2k.
You played it red.
Yeah, you do use it in red, although you use the other red level 3 more.
Straight up, this is like the Kantai set 3 early play, but not.
Yeah.
And it also is this from the same extended art of the Leaf encounter? So you see like half of her in the other card, and you see.
Oh yeah, you're right. Shit.
Cool.
Because you could see like the backside of Sugaha's head.
Yeah, I think you'd see like part of her boobs or something. Like yeah, you didn't see much of her. But yeah, you play this in the red show.
Oh, I forgot to change the name on this one.
Kirito and Asa and Yuki, Mother's Rosario.
Yeah. Midsummer Fairies. On play top check, reveal an anniversary trait, burn one. It gains power, and you can ditch cards to give other things power. It's a burn one. It's an on-play burn one.
It's red. It's experience.
It's got Avatar and Net trait.
Avatar and Net trait. Alright.
Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh! Early play if you have 4 more other anniversary trait. On play, discard heal to stock.
Okay, that one's actually better. I like that 4 more
Experience
anniversary
6
a
plus
lot better.
500 and on attack given an anniversary trait plus 1.5k.
Yo, but you forgot Alicization Uniting, the best light novel of Reki Kawahara's hit light novel series Sword Art Online.
I thought that was 16.5.
16.5 was chapter 16.5 of the first light novel.
Oh.
This one is light novel number 14. The best
Wait,
light
the
novel
first light
of the
novel had
series.
16 chapters?
Yeah,
That's a lot of fucking chapters.
yeah, it did. Well, that was like near the end. It
Yeah.
had like 20 something chapters. Yeah, Reki, like Kawahara writes in such a way where every single chapter is like 10 minutes. Like if you have like ADHD brain. Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess
which
we
apparently
can,
a lot
see,
of
this
Sword
is just
Art
the better
fans.
version of that effect. And it's role play. So yeah, let's move on. Kirito, adventuring all together. Yeah, he's super hyped about that. On play, pay 1, stock swap an opponent. On attack, this gains 1,000 times number of other anniversary trait characters. So on attack, it can get like 4k. And other than that, it's just a stock swap.
Yeah, and also in Commander Weiss Schwarz, you can choose the opponent to stock swap. That's irrelevant.
Oh, you mean two-headed giant Weiss Schwarz?
Yeah,
I've done that.
We play that sometimes.
That was hell.
Wasn't Ramon and Terry playing two-headed giant Weiss Schwarz, but only as a single
It
player?
was 2-deck Weiss Schwarz. Oh, 4-deck Weiss Schwarz. Yeah, no, Ian and I and some other guys used to play two-headed giant Weiss Schwarz back when we were all at state. But yeah, it's not a fun format.
Yeah, anyway.
Let's move on. Kirito, strongest solo player. Experience 2. This gains 1.5k, pay 1 to twin drive, and optional memory kick. Other than that, it's a healer.
Nice.
They give it all the things because he's the strongest solo player. What powerful flavor. Let's move on.
I mean, they could have made like a Reinhardt or something, but no.
That's
Hey,
We're done!
thanks for watching our Sword Online anniversary set review.
Something
Yeah.
we should probably mention. I got all these pictures off art of the cards, names as well, and for the most part, translations I bastardized from their translations.
Their
'cause they're kind of wordy.
translations. Shout out to Game Theory in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's our local game store. Play there every other week. If you want to show up and
We're
talk
there pretty much every week.
Yeah, if you have any feedback, put it in the comments. We'll try to respond to all of them. And yeah, Sword Online 10th anniversary set. Where do you think the set's standing?
Real damn good.
Real damn good. I think Avatar Net is top 10 in Japanese right now. Might
Yeah.
even break into top 5.
I want to best with these cards. I probably need to go find a playset.
Go find a place that's not a lot of money now.
What?
I think they're a lot of money now.
Are they?
Yeah, because people are charging you now for playsets.
Yeah, they can suck that. Oh, wait. I can always wait.
Wonderful. Thanks for watching. This is our
What a day.
Here's our broken finisher.